fun of Florida State after last season going 2-10, not having a quarterback and DJ Uyunglele, and I know we can make fun of last year, but I think it's also obvious we know what to do, and that's put last year behind. We got to look at this year in 2025 with Florida State, and something that people are forgetting this offseason, unless you're a Florida State fan. But I also feel like Alabama fans know it too. But I feel like some of them are forgetting, and I just feel like there's a secret ingredient Florida State has. And I'm not here to say they're going to win the game. I don't think so. But I feel like they can make it more competitive than we expect because Tommy Castellanos comes in from Boston College, but there's a secret ingredient in Gus Malzahn. And you could say whatever you want to about him as a head coach. He found ways to beat Alabama. He beat them 3 times, 2013, 2017, and 2019. All of those, of course, at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Throw some stats up, and I say throw stats up. I'll have to remember to put them on the screen for you. But I read this from FSUwire.com from USA Today. This was actually put out not really recently, but last year in December from J.D. McCarthy at USA Today Sports when they had announced Gus Malzahn as the new offensive coordinator. He went through and he looked at the numbers from Auburn, and it was very interesting to see that it was kind of a roller coaster. It kind of declined after that 2013 season where they met Florida State. Kind of funny how things work out in football sometimes. They had met Florida State in the national championship that year, but they had beat Georgia and Alabama in 2013. Gus Malzahn's first season at Auburn with ironic plays, the prayer at Jordan-Hare, and of course the kick six. Well, what about the numbers behind that offense? In the conference, points per game, 39.5. Total offense, 501.4. I'm assuming that's yards per game or total yards. I don't know. It doesn't specify what that is in total offense. But they were nationally ranked 11th. They were ranked second in the conference in points per game, second in the conference in total offense, third in yards per play, first in rushing yards per game. Yards per carry was number 1. They were also the best in the nation at rushing yards per game. They had a really good run attack. But what's so interesting outside of the numbers is when you really watch Gus Malzahn's offense, they're kind of hurry up, fast tempo. They want to get back to the line before the defense is set, and they pretty much always did that. They did that in 2013 with Nick Marshall, 2019 with Bo Nix, 2017 with Jarrett Stidham and Kerryon Johnson, of course. You see a pattern with those years. What I want you to see is this. Gus Malzahn did not always call the offense for Auburn, which is puzzling to me because it worked so well his first year. Then he had some offensive coordinators for a few years, and then he was able to call it in years like 2017. I think he called it even still in 2018, but then he also called it in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And those were years in 17, 13, 19, where he beat, 2 of those years he beat Georgia, and all 3 of those years he beat Alabama. So I say all this to say, when Gus Malzahn's calling plays, I really believe he's one of the better offensive minds in college football. And I don't think that's got to be news to anybody out there, unless you're new to college football. And you're like, well, no, Sarkisian's the best. I didn't say Malzahn was the best, but I believe he's got to be like one of the top 5 offensive minds, not necessarily coordinators, because we got to see it to believe it from Tommy Castellanos and what Gus Malzahn has for him this season. But I do believe he's one of the best offensive minds. that he could take it wherever he's at. And if anything, he's going to improve your offense. I do think he's going to improve Florida State, which they got a long way to go after a 2-10 season. But it is interesting to watch. It's interesting to see him come in, and lo and behold, his first game is going to be against Alabama at home, by the way, at Florida State. So, if anybody knows Alabama, it's Gus Malzahn. Now, I say that. Here's where the coin flips a little bit to Alabama. Let's talk about them. Does he know Kane Womack's defense? Has he ever met Kane Womack? From my research, I have not found anything that says they've gone head-to-head. I also don't think he's met Kalen DeBoer, who is an offensive-minded head coach. And he probably doesn't know Ryan Grubb. So he doesn't really know them, but they also have to prepare because they don't really know much of what Gus Malzahn's capable of. So there's two sides of the coin here. You have Malzahn, who's really, really good offensively, and I believe can go in anywhere and just turn it around. Not necessarily overnight. It's going to take some time. But I feel like he's got his formula in his back pocket to beat teams like Alabama, to probably take on teams this year in the ACC. Does he get to Clemson? Does he get to, Florida on the last game of the season? What about, I don't have their schedule memorized. I'm sure they play like Boston College or Cal or whoever from the ACC. Miami, of course. But, I think it's going to be something that's going to develop. I don't think they're going to win this game. I also don't think it's going to be that close, but don't be surprised and forget about Gus Malzahn when their offense is on the field week 1 and Tommy Castellanos is completing passes. They have a good run game. The O-line's improved a little bit. Don't be surprised about the adjustments they make from a year ago. After 2-10. This is a team that's honestly kind of pissed off right now after a 2-10 season. And they want to go into this year. They want to at least, I would say their goal is let's just make a bowl game and go from there. And eventually we'll be on top of college football. But they made a bold move. And honestly, probably the right move going and getting Gus Malzahn, and again, some of his years, his first year at UCF after Auburn let him go, he was the head coach at Central Florida. In the conference, he was, the conference rank, he was 4th. This was back in the group of 5 in the American. But he had 31.9 points per game. He was nationally ranked 38 in that one. He was 7th in his conference. He was he ran the ball a lot, interestingly. Yards per carry and rushing attempts and stuff. He was like first or second there. So the numbers don't lie for Gus Malzahn. They aren't something that's gotten better over the years. It's not gotten worse either. It's kind of up and down, very inconsistent. But again, point of this video and everything to say, Gus Malzahn knows offense, knows quarterback play. He's like honestly, I would compare him to Bruce Arians of the NFL. Can take a quarterback that's young, maybe inexperienced, doesn't have enough in him, or enough experience or enough on his resume, and he can take them and run with it. I see no reason that Florida State doesn't have a good offense this year, or at least by season's end. Let me say it that way. If Gus Malzahn really has it in him, like he did at Auburn and like he did at UCF, Don't forget he was the OC when they won a national title in 2010. Now, 2010 compared to 2025 is 15 years. It's been a long time. But if anybody out there knows offense better than almost anybody else, because I like guys, I think Ryan Grubb's going to prove to be better than Gus Malzahn. I also think Sarkisian's a better offensive mind. There's a couple different guys out there that are better than Gus Malzahn, but it's really not that much. He does know offense, and I think he has what it takes to turn it around for Florida State. This first game against Alabama, he can give them fits. I don't think he gives them enough to really win the game or really keep it that close, but don't be surprised if Alabama's a really good defense this year and they end up still giving up 17, 21 points to Florida State because Gus Malzahn gets it figured out. Now, on the other side, the Florida State defense, I don't know what to make of them. They're probably going to give up like 30-plus points to Alabama, maybe even 40 or 50 points. That's a good possibility. I don't know. But I hope I've given some FSU fans hope that you guys can have a really good offense this year. And Alabama fans probably want to troll me right now or get on me about, oh, well, you're talking up a former Auburn head coach and you're talking about our opponent like that. We're going to, kill an ant with a sledgehammer like Ryan Williams said about Vandy. I know. I understand that. I get that. All I'm trying to say is don't forget who's on that sideline when their offense takes the field. Think about Gus Malzahn. He loves to be fast, and he loves some trickeration. As long as Alabama can get their defense in check to not overlook that, they have no issues in this game. All I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, Gus Malzahn is a great offensive mastermind, and I think you're going to see that this year from Florida State. Whether it is week 1 or if it's just something down the road, week 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know your thoughts on Gus Malzahn. Do you think he's the right fit? And do you think I'm right about him being a good offensive mind that could turn around Florida State? Again, I'm not here to hype him up for a natty or even to beat Alabama. But 7 or 8 wins because the offense gets going under Malzahn this year, it's a good possibility. Was last year a fluke? Did they actually suck? I got to hear from you guys. I love you. Have an awesome, what is today? Wednesday. And I'll see you next time. Jesus loves you. God bless. And we'll see you soon here at BSM.